to another edition of Discuss Nigeria and African Free Press Television. My name is Leo Oketa. Today we'll be looking at the state of the nation. Two things we are going to talk about here today, which is very important because in our country today, people are feeling it a lot and people are talking so much about it. Talk of the fuel scarcity that has hit the country hard. And in the east, over here in Abuja, everywhere in the country, all around the country, the fuel scarcity has hit people very hard. And then secondly, the issue of the 5,000 naira stipend that was promised by the ruling APC government to pay unemployed youths. Today, to take on these cardinal issues, with me in the studio is Mr. Clem Aguiyi, who is the president of Move On Nigeria, a columnist, a writer, and a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Now, let me draw this analogy with you. Someone wanted to come and see me for my program tomorrow in the studio here in the studio, and the person said, "It's just this fuel issue. I don't have fuel." Has it got to that extent? The fuel scarcity has it got to that extent that the common man in his home cannot move from point A to point B in a country that is blessed with abundance of natural resources?
Yeah, it's quite an unfortunate situation. At a time in our history, we thought we have passed this very situation where you have a perennial scarcity of fuel. I mean, and this is something that we have been over in so many times over time, from the military era to the present democracy. And the past 4 years was fair. The past administration was able to manage the situation, and we had regular flow of fuel that we almost forgot that we also had fuel scarcity. And we expected that fuel, which is what almost everybody uses, use it to run their generator, because the power system here is still zero. I've not had light in my house for the past 3 days. I run on generator. I don't even have the fuel to buy. I need the fuel to move around. That has increased fuel transportation prices. People are stranded traveling intercity on the roads because the vehicle that's taking you maybe from here to Lagos will need to refuel along the road. And some of these fuels now that are being sold in the black market are being adulterated, and they're also affecting the engines of the vehicle. And if you virtually every filling station where you have fuel to sell, people are spending many long hours. These are valuable man hours that could have been used in productive ventures, being used to wait for fuel, and so forth and so on. And in some places, we find that people are buying a liter of petrol instead of 87 naira, which is the official price. People are buying it for
140, 150, 200,
and 400 in some places, and this is not acceptable. It is a very unfortunate situation, and you begin to ask yourself, what is the government doing about this? The government is saying one thing, and you're seeing a different thing. The NNPC is saying you have enough fuel supply. Of course, if you have enough fuel supply, why would these I don't have fuel? And the NNPC have said we paid marketers 430 something billion naira in subsidy payment. If you've paid them, why are they not supplying fuel? So there's so much lies, some propaganda, and gaps in the communication that we don't even know what is going on. And this is happening at the time we are going to Christmas period. People need to move around, and all those things, and this is happening. And we have also people coming to the country because of the festive period and the facing hardship. What impression would they go back with? That Nigeria is working on us. So this is very unfortunate. I would expect the government to come out with immediate short-term measures that will resolve these very issues so that people suffering can be eased, and also come up with long-term solutions so that we don't have to get into this point, because we don't need it in this country anymore.
Yeah, talking of long-term solution, I remember the past administration, the past president, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, then trying to strike out this subsidy issue, removal of subsidy, and it was a problem all over the country. You know, I remember this Occupy Nigeria, where people came to say, no, we should leave the subsidy, and now it's coming back to hunters. Do you think that could be a way forward, like talking of a long-term solution? Because if we continue this way, obviously, tomorrow the independent marketers will come and say, this one, you've not paid this one, you've not paid this one, and it continues hitting hard on the citizens.
Yeah, it is a yes or no thing. Yes, removing subsidy could also help in putting the bulk of the pains or suffering on the common man in terms of pricing. Not removing subsidy can also lead us to this situation. But let me tell you one thing, the easy way out is to remove the subsidies. But the hard way is to make the subsidies to work. Subsidy is good. The average Nigerian requires something back from the government for business of this country. Other countries have their welfare systems, where if you don't have a job, you can get a paycheck, where you're entitled to some entitlements. What are you entitled to in this country? The only thing that we have seem to be entitled is subsidy on petroleum. And we are demanding that the government should make it work, not removing it. Removing it means government handing off everything. What are they giving to you? Is it water they are giving to you? Is it electricity they are giving to you? Is it education that the government is providing? Is it roads that the government has provided? What are they providing? Absolutely nothing. And the only thing that the common man can say they are doing is subsidy, even though the subsidy is not even getting to the common man because it ended up in the pocket of the rich man. But what we're saying that you can make this subsidy to work so the common man can enjoy it. Removing subsidy will never be the long-term solution to the problem. The long-term solution to the problem is to make the refineries to work. Issue the licenses for more refineries to be built, which the past administration is trying to do. That's why they introduced the modular refineries. You can fast-track these things, create the environment so that refineries can come up. You can even legitimatize and legalize most of the mushroom refineries that you call illegal refinery in the south. Make it legal. What's wrong with making it legal? Make it legal and get it inclusive into the system so that what they are producing become accountable. Because we're facing a dire situation where we are having our people suffer. At the end of the day, what matters is not how you've been able to feed out international community, but how you've been able to take care of your domestic issue. This is your problem. We're going to solve it. So the government has to look inwards and find out how do we solve this problem. Yesterday or 2 days ago, the president was in Aguiyi State, commissioning the first independent private refinery project, which is good, but that will not come on stream until maybe next 3 or 4 years. Yeah, now we need more of such to come on, so that we can have the private refineries competing with the government refineries that is in existence, so that let the private refineries work, let the government refineries work, or even as I said, the government refineries, so people can manage it. By the time these things are working now, you might be talking about removing subsidy because naturally the price of fuel will come down because you're not importing them anymore. So that will be the long-term solution, not removing the subsidy. You cannot just go ahead and remove the subsidy because it will have a spillover effect, not just on pump price, but also on every other issue because every other issue is dependent. And that's what people lose sight of. Every other issue is dependent on the cost of petroleum in this country. So once you remove it, it affects every other thing, including the pure water you drink, including the food you eat, including the schools you attend, including your income. It will even increase inflation because when people are maybe earning so much money in circulation with too few goods to pursue, it causes inflation. We're running into a lot of hardship. And if government make any mistake of removing subsidy, they may be playing with revolution. People might get on the street and chase them away.
Well, if you've been watching, we've been discussing Nigeria on this special edition, the State of the Nation, with Mr. Clem Aguiyi, and we'll be taking up on the fuel scarcity in Nigeria. Now, let's come to the second issue. During campaigns and pre-election time, the APC made this promise to pay 5,000 naira stipend to unemployed youths in this country. And then the other time it was brought up the floor of the Senate, and the APC senators tried setting it aside, and then the presidency has come to say this would come to work in 2016. How visible do you think that is?
Yeah, first of all, anything is possible in democracy. If you manage your resources very well, you'll be able to provide that. But then you ask yourself a question, who is unemployed in Nigeria and who is employed? Do we have the data of unemployed people in this country? How are you going to start the payment? Will it be some people earning money and some people not earning money? Did they do their homework very well? And actually, what do people need? They don't need handouts. They need jobs. I expected the government to go ahead and create jobs. So many people from the employment system. But so far, the policies of this government is taking people out of job. More people are out of job under this government than they were before this government. And they have increased the unemployment situation. We all witnesses in the past when recruitment of immigration, millions of people are fill up all the stadiums in Nigeria. You think something, you think an exodus was happening. That was what happened in this country. And those people are still not employed. And more has joined them again. So who are you going to provide the 5,000?
You look at it, someone is taking 50,000 for a year. What is that? Does that person need that amount of money? Or
and what will you do for 50,000? What will you do for 50,000 a year? That's why I said create job, create the environment that make businesses to grow, to create job. The biggest employer of labor is the trade and commerce, and government has killed trade and commerce already. So the government is not thinking properly. But then if you make a promise, keep your promise. It's a check because people are going to confront you on another election. And don't forget, APC came into power based on a lot of lies, a lot of propaganda, a lot of promises. In fact, somebody said that they overpriced themselves. They said many things that were out of the blues, many things that they can never achieve, many things they cannot do. That was how they came into power. But then the people now are asking questions, what you promise or give to us? Thank God the president has said, this one I will do it. Okay, fine, you must do it. Let's see how you do it and who will be captured and who will not be captured. Right now we don't know the modalities. It's all still based on he say, she say, and whatever. But like I said, if you make a promise, keep the promise.
Yeah, we hope the government keeps their promise, or at least try to come and say at the end of the day they cannot do it. We are sorry we said this. We've looked at things the way they are.
They have no reason not to do it. Plug the loopholes on corruption, plug the loopholes on wastages, and save enough money and pay the people. They need food because they don't have job for them. And I don't see this government creating job for everybody. So those that doesn't have job have a right to exist. They have a right to feed. So there must be a kind of welfare system that will cushion poverty. No Nigerian child should go to bed with hunger in the stomach or with no food. So there should be all people need to be taken care of because I want to see the government being able to pay pensioners as a spend due. And those who are not within the pension level because they didn't work for the government also require some kind of pension and compensation. Because they have one word or they contributed in the growth of Nigeria. If not for anything, they father children who are today Nigerians. So they also require some bit of compensation, not just the unemployed youth. What about the unemployed old men and women who doesn't have even shelter, who doesn't have Medicaid, who doesn't have food? They require also some kind of stipend, pocket money. So the government must be able to plug loopholes on corruption, fight corruption the way it should be fought, engage corruption frontally, plug those loopholes, save enough money, and be able to take care of this because that's what people need.
Yeah, you've heard it from my guest. The government can actually do it when it plugs the loopholes of corruption. And we've been discussing Nigeria on African Free Press Television. Today we looked at the state of the nation, talking about the fuel scarcity as well as the 5,000 naira stipend promise made by the APC to unemployed youths. And I've been taking that today brilliantly with Mr. Clem Aguiyi, who is a writer, columnist, public affairs analyst, and the president of Move On Nigeria. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Please always visit our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Follow us on Twitter at African Free Press. Like our Facebook page at African Free Press. Please endeavor to join in our discussions on African Free Press Forum and subscribe to our YouTube channel at African Free Press. From me, Leo Oketa, it's thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.